These terrorists had a clear target in their mind, and they chose this area, the Baisaran Valley, deliberately because it's a non-motorable area. They knew that there'll be no place for tourists to hide. Rescue will take time as well because there's no way anyone can get there. It's a long trek, or you go on horseback. So for any information to go across and then for any personnel to come through, it all took time. India Today has learned that the terrorists carried out a recce of the hotels in the area. They were wearing helmets that had cameras to videograph the carnage that they went on. These were absolute monsters who resorted to actually videographing their act. And so when they found tourist groups, here's what they did. They segregated them. Men on one side, women and children on another side. The men were asked about their identities. Now they were checking what exactly the religion of these men were, and then if they were Hindus, they were being shot point blank. And then there were some who died also in sniper fire, shot from a distance by the remaining terrorists. India Today has also accessed a list of 2 terrorists suspected to have been behind the Pahalgam terror attacks who belong to terror outfits JEM and LET. There is a suspicion that 2 local terrorists were present for this crime. Now, why exactly did we see this particular terror attack happening in this area of the Baisaran Valley? It's beautiful. It's one of the must-visit sites when people go to Pahalgam, which is why it was flooded with thousands of tourists. But here's what makes it challenging for forces to get there. There's no road whatsoever. The access is by foot or on horses. So for all of these tourists who were there, and thousands were there when gunshots were being heard, they had no idea where to run. It was the first time they visited this area. They had no idea where to hide. There was nearly no security there, and that's something that there is a big question mark on whether this was a lapse. When a place with this kind of open meadow with thousands of tourists, why was there no security there? There was no place for any of these tourists to hide. And just imagine the trauma that they've undergone, the survivors right now. There was nowhere they could hide. They didn't know the layout of the area to know which way to run, which way was safe, which way was headed back to Pahalgam. And then right around this entire Baisaran Valley are mountains, snow-capped mountains, areas that are densely wooded as well. So the terrorists could manage to run away, hide in this particular area, strike exactly where they needed to. It's away from the city center, and like I said, quite a trek. So for any resources to reach there, it took time. Security took time, our personnel took time to get there, medics took time to get there. So a lot of people who were bleeding couldn't get to hospitals on time. It took some time also for choppers to be deployed to that particular location to airlift people, evacuate them. And this is exactly why the terrorists chose that particular area. And this by far is one of the deadliest attacks that we've seen on tourists in the valley in years. 28 people have died, mostly Hindu tourists. India Today has accessed images of the plotter of the Pahalgam attack. That man you see on your screens, Asif Fauji. He's also called Abu Talha. He's said to be the mastermind behind the attack. Reportedly a retired soldier of the Pakistan army who's managed to infiltrate repeatedly into Kashmir. Also allegedly involved in the Rajouri attack in which 3 Jawans lost their lives. We've also accessed images of the terrorists. These men you see there on your screens, wrecked Pahalgam and other places to figure out which is the best location to go ahead and carry out this terror strike. Reportedly, these terrorists had conducted a recce of hotels, of tourist spots in Pahalgam between April 1st and 7th, indicating that this attack was pre-planned. Again, that will lead to questions about whether there was an intel failure, where we failed to actually intercept that this kind of an attack was being planned. Because 2 weeks after the recce is when the attack has actually happened. Home Minister Amit Shah visited the spot where the tourists were fired upon. He visited Pahalgam in that entire Baisaran Valley. He was seen visiting that particular spot and taking a look at all of and essentially getting a briefing on exactly what had happened. The Home Minister also chaired a high-level security meet, met with families of the victims, paid homage to the victims in Srinagar. Prime Minister Modi